These one quarterback first round picks, I never truly know how to feel with them. Yeah, when you get to the draft season, it's those, you want those top four maybe, and if not, they kind of feel like fodder. Gene, looking here, we got DJ Moore in 3 first, 2 in 25 and 1 in 26 in a 10-team, one quarterback, full point PPR start 10. It's a nice package, but is that enough to get up Marvin Harrison Jr. and then you toss in a second and a third with it?
I mean, for me, I know that the picks are like next year and the year after, but I mean, I'll take the picks. I mean, really, do you think Marvin Harrison is worth 3 firsts? I mean, I think the first are cost a little bit more, and then you throw in DJ Moore on top of that. Yeah, just give me the first and DJ, and I'll figure out what to do with the first with some other players I might want, in my opinion.
Welcome on in back to the channel, everybody. It's me, Ty DeClaire, at Ty DeClaire 44, and I'm joined this week by Gene Amenahue, one half of the Off the Line Fantasy Football Podcast. Find him on X at Fantasy Genes. And we're here for another episode of the Destination Debbie Trade Show. Gene, glad we're able to connect. I know we tried to get it last week, but hey, life gets in the way. We're here for a good little bit here. We got some good trades coming down the pipe. How are you feeling today?
I mean, outside my body kind of failing me because of old age. I'm good. I'm excited to get on the trade show. Just kind of bounce some thoughts around. This will be like a learning exercise for me because I know we're in Dynasty leagues together, and I'm a little more pragmatic than some other Dynasty owners. But I mean, this is a good learning experience for me, so I'm excited to go through some trades with you.
Hey man, if you're not learning something, you're probably not doing something right. So I always like approaching it like that. And I think we can always learn from other perspectives and how other people see things. So let's get to it, man. So, I mean, yeah, this one, when you see, DJ Moore in 3 firsts, like that's a hell of a package for then really like the second and a third, they're there, but you're sending that for a Marvin Harrison Jr. And in a one quarterback, 10 teams start 10 hammers are the ones that are going to matter, right? DJ Moore is caught in a target battle in Chicago. We'll call it that. Yet 2 firsts and 25. We don't have any context on the first, so we always just assume mid to late, right? Just give it that credence there. And then you have 1 kick to 2026. So when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking in one quarterback, 10 by 10, like really in a super flex league, when you're talking about like the top end of the top end, those 4 first round picks, that seems to be like a pretty general price you'll see out there. So DJ Moore and 3 one quarterback first is very juicy, but I think there's some savviness to this. One, again, we don't know where these picks are, but that 26 first, it's like you're putting a little bit of that on layaway, right? You're kicking it down the line a little bit. You're moving up from DJ Moore to Marvin Harrison. And again, you're in that second and a third. I bet you can buy a pretty nice spot start for a second and a third as well, right? So if I'm looking at like consolidated dynasty value, trying to get someone who can put up crooked numbers, I can see a team that would take that Marvin Harrison there. But I mean, it would be hard to turn down a DJ Moore in 3 firsts. I'm just trying to put my mind in that one quarterback of it all. You know what I mean? Yeah,
man. So, kind of even hearing you talk about it now is like 10 by 10. You want the top 100 players. That's all that's really needs to be making your lineups. Of course, these 2 are top within that 100, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Now, the question is, DJ Moore with, at least 2 other people that he can find targets with Marvin Harrison, automatic, wide receiver 1. Like, I get like getting rid of these first because maybe in that league, they don't really value first. I don't know.
It's tough to say, right?
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, I can see both sides of it. Now, kind of looking at it is just like, hey, I'm making the bet that I'm going for it with getting Marvin Harrison. And the other side is like, hey, I might be still going for it and I get like a really high asset from the past year and I got these firsts that I can play around with. So I think it's a decent deal on both sides. I mean, obviously, I would take the DJ Moore in the first and hopefully package it up to get somebody, that might be higher up the food chain than DJ Moore.
Right. You would hope that with 3 firsts in your pocket, you could do something with that to really freak this deal into something that would really work, right?
Yeah.
You'd think. But like you said, like seeing those picks being moved, like what is the first value in that kind of a league?
Exactly. That's what I was about to say is like, who moves 3 firsts for Marvin Harrison, like if this was a 12-team league, we wouldn't even think twice about this. Like, give me the first instead of Marvin Harrison. But in this case, like, I really wonder what that value is of these first. And again, like, hey, are these late first? I know we automatically assume that, but how late are these? And then 2026 is almost like, do I even, like, I'm not even thinking about that in a one quarterback league, 10 by 10. So I see both sides. Making a huge bet with Marvin Harrison to be basically a wide receiver one off the rip, which is why my inclination is to take the package with DJ Moore, because I'm not sure if I can make that bet off rip.
Yeah, I'm trying to even like simplify it a little bit, right? Like 26 first for a 25 second and a 25 third. I still want the first, but the fact that it's 2026, maybe there's some wiggle room there where I can make up that time. DJ Moore and 2 first is still like it's a lot, right? So it's a tough one, and you and Ike are so deep into Underdog. I'm in it for the first time this year too. Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore, like, they're not worlds apart in ADP for like a seasonal perspective, right? So yeah, I think it truly comes down to where those first project without knowing anything. And like I said, we're even bad at projecting picks. So maybe, they could be 2 early ones, right? So I think there's probably the risk is on the Marvin Harrison side because you are consolidating. If I'm taking that DJ Moore side, I'm not holding those picks and waiting to pick them. But I mean, hey, you can tell me some context where they already have 3 other picks in 2025, and then they add that cachet to that team with a DJ Moore. Like, I'm here for it. So this is a good deal to start it off. And I didn't think I'd be saying about a 10 by 10 one quarterback deal.
I know, because people don't, in those type of leagues, they're very stingy with moving anything, honestly, because everything is so consolidated already. So good job with these 2 owners getting something done.
Absolutely. That gets a flame emoji right there. That's a good one. All right, 12 team Superflex PPR start 9. We got Jonathan Brooks at 109 being acquired for George Kittle, and the 211, which became Roman Wilson. So, Gene, we're playing around in the old rookie drafts here with a 0.5 tight end premium, so 1.5 total. Jonathan Brooks or George Kittle and Roman Wilson?
I think this one's a little tough too, honestly, especially with the half point tight end. For me, I mean, half point start 9. I'm not even really counting Roman Wilson. I'm not sure how often you're even going to start that guy. Start 9, and he's a rookie playing in an offense that we don't even trust. So really, I'm looking at George Kittle or Jonathan Brooks. I want to lean Kittle because of the offense and the efficiency. Jonathan Brooks is coming from a torn ACL. He's going to be battling 2-3 other running backs trying to get playing time. I want to lean Kittle, but very, very, very slight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good deal. A start 9, so hammers matter, right? We're in a 12 teamer, so there's a little deeper than a 10 teamer, right? So 12 by 9. I agree. I don't think Roman Wilson cracks your lineup in the foreseeable future in this kind of a league. And while he has some of that, ADP, some of those beans sprinkled in there, like, I don't think he's really a market mover probably in this league much. He's a nice lottery ticket, but that's about how I would value him. And a 1.5 tight end premium, I want to try to it's feast or famine, right? I don't want to get stuck or pay for that middle tier. And if I can find a way to move off that middle tier to hopefully get someone that can put up crooked numbers or positional difference making numbers, I'd like to make that move. So in this case, in a start 9.5 tight end premium, moving Kittle and a Roman Wilson and moving into it a Jonathan Brooks, as long as as long as I don't have like Brees, ETN, mix in, and I can't find a way to get Jonathan Brooks into that lineup, I think I'll just take the Jonathan Brooks side of this, knowing that I'm investing in a running back, so it's going to be inherently risky. But again, it's a 12 by 9. You got to take some swings. So I'll lean the Jonathan Brooks side, but the package is there's some nicety to that. It's not nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, take away Roman Wilson. Let's call it like a 2025 second. Does that make it any different for you?
No, not really, because it's still you'll be digging in the same batch of type of players. Like they're not breaking your lineup. So
Right.
it's really, do you want Brooks or do I want Kittle? And yeah, I mean, half point tight end. I mean, go Brooks, but for me and for Ike, we are guys that don't like dabbling in the running back waters when they just come off a freshly torn ACL. They usually don't perform well.
Yeah.
So unless he's Brees Hall, who's one of the anomalies, then yeah, give me Brooks. But no, I'll slightly take Kittle here.
Yeah, it's fair. It's generally a good bet not to bet on the guy with one healthy knee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not saying he's Brees Hall, but I do think that there's enough steam on his name there that you'll have an out, and an offense where there's going to be some opportunity early, even if we know he's not going to be 100% Jonathan Brooks. I think that steam will be there. So I'm taking the Jonathan Brooks side of this, but this is, like I said, I think it's team dependent too. Right? It really is team dependent. Okay, hey, best ball. We love some best ball here, and this is a spicy one. So we got a 12-team Superflex PPR. It start 2 tight ends with a 1-point tight end premium. So a 2.0 tight end premium total. You have to start 2 of them. We don't know how many starters, but I don't really think that matters here. So you want Kyler Murray or do you want Sammy Ballgame, Sam Laporta?
Damn.
This is, I think it's team dependent, but also you got to think construction. You got to think war. It looks simple on the surface, but this is deep.
This is very deep, man. Like that 2-point tight end premium start 2, man.
Yep. And you're getting tight end 1 in Dynasty. Sammy
Yeah,
Laporta.
man. I'm a Kyler guy, but I might have to go with Sammy L over here, man. That premium is serious. And we talk. I mean, we in the Discord, like we talk about this all the time in terms of if it's less than 1.75, these I don't really care. But 2-point and it's tight end 1, yeah. Let me get Laporta, man.
And it start 2.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm trying to approach the tight end position, I want to find the way to be the most efficient that I can. Whether that be having like the top end cats where I'm taking the big swing and I don't have to worry about it, or I'm, hoarding just that top end tight end war just to change the graph for everyone else, right? Change that distribution. And in a start 2 tight end premium with 2 tight end premium with a start 2 factor, that's pretty tough to discount Sam Laporta at all. The only way I can see it is if you are constructing in a way where you're kind of fading that a bit. You have enough. Let's say this would be one. You have a Kittle and Njoku, a Fryer move, then let's say a Chika-Okonkwo. Right, you feel like you can kind of get by with volume, and you need a quarterback. Kyler Murray's not a bad option to get into at all.
No, I'm trying to figure out how desperate one of these or both of these owners are for them to go. I mean, these are top of the line. Honest, I mean, Kyler, when he's healthy, he's automatic like top 6, top 7 quarterback on a weekly basis, and then you get in tight end 1 on top of that. Like, I'm just wondering what the rosters look like now, seeing this type of deal. But yeah, I think both sides. I think this is a good deal on both sides.
I think I'm more likely to be lean or scarce at quarterback than I am at tight end. But the 2x2 of the tight end of it all is very hard to ignore. And if a deal like this went down in my league, then I know that the tight end premium has some pull to it.
Yeah.
Right. So I can, if I get Sammy, I'm not stuck with Sammy. I can figure out a way to finagle that. Maybe I can take a step down. Again, you just sent to play Kyler, but take a step down to Trey McBride and then see what you can get. So I think just given I love to play the format, and in best ball, I want to be efficient as I can. I think that instead of overbuilding at tight end, I can find a way around it in best ball at quarterback. Give me Sam Laporta. This is great deal so far. Hey, we're bringing some juice on this one.
Yeah, I like these so far.
Speaking of juice, we got a 12-team start 12 Superflex PPR, and we're back to that half tight end premium. We got Jalen Hurts, Jahmyr Gibbs, the 110. We don't know what the 110 became, and the 304. And on the other side, we got Joe Burrow, 111, 1.5, 111, 2-1, and 3-1. So really, 110, 111, you get your choice there. 3-4, 3-1, you're kind of on the opposite side. So I think you can probably cross off the thirds and the first there. So you're looking Hurts and Gibbs for Burrow 1-5 and 2-1. Sheesh. So 1-5. Let's count it out. In this league, 12 by 12, not a big tight end premium. So Caleb, Marv, one of Daniels, and probably Neighbors. So I'm assuming you're looking at either a JJ McCarthy or a Drake May. Maybe a Neighbors falls there. I would love if a Neighbors fell there. And then the 201. So Penix, Keon, Ladd, someone in that range. Brooks, maybe Brooks falls, right? But then you got that Jahmyr Gibbs on the other side, man.
Yeah,
go ahead.
don't think this one's too. I want the Hurts and Gibbs side. That's just me. There's nothing really enticing about 105. Even if I got Neighbors, I think I'm still leaning the Gibbs and Hurts side. I got 110. I mean, I don't. And the 201, I'm not even counting that, honestly.
Right.
That probably is not making your lineup. So really, it's like Joe Burrow and maybe Neighbors, probably one of the quarterbacks. I'd rather take the Hurts and Gibbs side.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, as I zoom out, I mean, I want Hurts over Burrow, just from like the rushing perspective, I think the ways the offenses are primed. Like, I like Joe Burrow still. I'm not trying to discount Joe Burrow, but it just feels like the steam's been turned down a little bit on him. But Hurts is still kind of primed to be that guy. I've been on record of paying 103 for Gibbs straight up, so I would happily pay 105 and something for Gibbs. Like, and that was in a 12 by 11 best ball. So like, trying to play that running back side of it. So it was, what I'm saying is Gibbs should hold weight, and at 12 by 12 it is deeper, but hammers still matter. So still, I'd love to build around a Gibbs. Yeah, you get the bump. So you get the your choice at 110 versus 111. You send him the 2-1. Yeah, I want Hurts and Gibbs here. Just it's just consolidated fantasy points and value all in one, and you're sending away some nice picks, but there's a lot of filler in there too.
Yeah, a lot of filler.
Yeah, good deal, A-Town. Good deal. All right, we got two here. We got John in a 10 or 12 by 10 super flex tiered PPR. So wide receivers get 1, running backs get 1.5 per reception, and the tight ends get 2. There's also a 0.1 point per carry. They now have 5 25 first, and one of those is the top 3 teams in the league. Oh, and is one of the top 3 teams. So he has 5 picks, and he's a top team in the league. Watch out. McCaffrey, Dio John, Chase Brown, and Sam Laporte. Gene.
Come on, man.
Gene.
Come
1-5, 1-9, 2-11. And
go to the next
Traylon,
deal, man. That's crazy.
5XL hands, Hog Hunter, Traylon Burks.
Come on, man.
Come on. This is
that's crazy.
What is it? Hey, Shan3, patreon.com/ for ALLGAS, please. Get in here. Get in here, man. All right, here's another one. So good work. So John got another 25 first, his 5th, and 2025 3rd. And he sent away Deontay Johnson in that 2nd. So we got Deontay for free, and then turned that in a 2nd into a 1st and a 3rd. I mean, John, you did it.
Hey, yeah, great job, man. There's nothing to say, man.
Man. Good work.
Did you at least give him candy on the way out? My Lord.
Yeah, hey, at least slip him a gift card or something, right? Turn the tablet around with a tip option at least.
Man, free Amazon Prime for a year or something. I
got Audible for 3 months. Damn. All right. Okay, here we go. Ooh. A 12-team start 11 with a 2.75 tight end premium. That's hefty. That's a hefty premium with bonuses for first downs, long receptions. The 201 was BTJ and X-Worthy was 108. So I like X-Worthy, but in a 2.75 tight end premium, you're getting Jake Ferguson, Brian Thomas Jr., and a 2025 2nd. Gene, your brother, he is on the Chiefs there. You got himself a ring. Happy to see X-Worthy in the house. How much are you really willing to pay for X-Worthy, and how do you feel about this deal?
I like X-Worthy. He went to UT like my brother did, but he ain't worth all this, man. Give me the package, man. I know Jake Ferguson, the offense is literally the same. Like, I don't see anything that should change him from being the number 2 target. I think he finished in just a regular PPR format. I think he finished top. I think it was 8, tight end 8. I think.
Yeah.
And now you're getting 2.75. You got BTJ and a second, throw in a second for Worthy. Yeah, man, give me the package. Just great job.
I've seen BTJ go over X-Worthy in drafts, so I don't think it's crazy to call them the same tier, and you're just getting a starting tight end and a second in the pocket. Yeah, like I don't think we got to go too much into this. It's just a good deal for old Carlo Kitts here. So way to go.
Yeah,
way to go. All right, Gene. We got Girth Brooks here. We got a 12 by 11. I know, great name. 12 teams, start 11. PPR. I love the tight end premiums in this episode, y'all. 2.25 tight end premium with a 0.3 point per carry bonus and a 6-point passing touchdown. We got 2 trades in the same league, so let's start with this one. We got Jamar Chase and Sam Howell being acquired for Justin Herbert and the 209. We don't know what the 29 became. See that Alan Soslowski name right there. Shouts out to Alan. So, I'm thinking from an underdog perspective, even, right? Like I think that's one of the big things that's helped me with my game is learning how to value people kind of for that seasonal perspective versus the dynasty, and also put things more into perspective. Even if it's a best ball, you get once you just get the reps down, it just starts to really lay out. Herbert in 2025 or 2024. Not really the cat that I want to hitch my horse to if I'm trying to win. I need that quarterback hammer, but this is probably the cheapest you're ever going to get, Justin Herbert, right? And you got to strike now if you're going to do that. But in a 12 by 11, getting a Jamar Chase, if I'm flush at quarterback, there is not a hesitation in my mind to go and get a Jamar Chase over a Herbert. How did this one land for you, Gene?
Yeah. Going back to the underdog ADP, I mean, I think there's like a 6th, 7th round difference between Chase and Herbert.
At least
people are really down on, what the offense could be for the Chargers. And again, Chase, he's dynasty. He's top 3 wide receiver, top 4 wide receiver. Sam Howell, that's a throw in. I don't know if he's going to reach the 2.9 value. People are really hoping that he's the starter next year. I'm not even worried about that. So
yeah,
it's really a preference for me. I think this is just a preference deal. Like, do you want the hammer and Chase, or do you want the, kind of reliable, people are down on Herbert. I mean, give me Chase, man. I know people don't like trading 1-for-1 for quarterbacks without getting a quarterback back. I mean, yeah, you got Sam Howell, but I'm not really. I think that's a next year. Hopefully he's kind of good play. So I'll take the Chase side.
Yeah, there's definitely some stability and some consistency, like you said, with Herbert. And if this is Herbert's floor, like you're good. Like he's still holding that value, even with all of like the situational negatives that people are probably anticipating at this point. So, Herbert, he's still good, still good at football, shockingly. But yeah, I think just based on what we know and coming from a marketability or movability standpoint, I think Chase will, he'll sustain that. He'll give you those points. And yeah, Sam Howell, if he ever does get the chance to start, people like Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Right. So if and when he starts, especially if it's like let's say he gets 3 or 4 starts down the stretch, Gino gets hurt, right? He goes in. That's probably worth a second, right? At least. So, if you're playing it from that perspective, if you're trying to go robust quarterback and you got Howell there, I like the Chase and Howell side a lot here. So, again, it's probably like you could look back on all these Herbert deals in a year and probably feel just disgusting about it, right?
Yeah.
But I'll take Chase and Howell here.
Yeah, I think it's a little savvy now thinking about this lineup league with Sam Howell. I know Geno Smith, his contract ends at the end of the year. And you've heard rumblings as soon as they traded for Howell, how they are really high on him. I mean, they have control of him. I think next year, they would have control of him for 2 more years, I think. So if they're trying to be cheap in terms of that position and, see what he can do, like you said, end of the year, maybe spot starts if they're not good, or maybe they go into the year next year with them. I think it's a good way to potentially get a backdoor way to get a starting quarterback for the next year.
Absolutely. And hey, he did it again. So we're sending away Drew Lock, Roman Wilson, and a 2025 second from that, and you're sending away your own 25 second that we know you just got chased for. We know that hey, you're probably set at quarterback, moving away that Herbert there, and you're just getting back Christian Kirk. Probably I'll call it the running or the wide receiver one, but I don't know what that really means in the Jacksonville offense.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Warren in a 0.3 point per carry. Gene, the way that I like the dynasty and like to build my teams, I want Kirk and Warren. Do you see this any differently?
I do not. This is a great deal for no guts, no sausage, in my opinion. He just basically stole these two players from the Scorp Manny.
Yeah, old Scorp Manny. With the Steelers logo, had to get that Russell Wilson.
Ah, man.
Yeah,
had to get the Roman Wilson.
But sent
even
away
though
that
he
Jalen Warren though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't know what that's about. Maybe he has nausea. I don't know. And
maybe he has some insider info.
Maybe, I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe he heard the Najee's dropped a little bit of weight and looks a little faster, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, Jalen is not the guy anymore." So let me send him away.
Wheels up, yeah. So, I mean, again, Drew Lock. I feel like he can kind of tell the same story as how hashtag tell yourself the story. People like Drew Lock. You got the, like Drew Lock's got a little bit of that to him, right? So if he does get that chance, I do think people will want him, and you can move him, or you can have a start in the Giants offense, right? You get Neighbors, maybe he's cooking down the stretch, Lock goes in, and that's a nice little combo you have there. Roman Wilson, we've gone over him, love him in best ball as a dart, love him in underdog as a fail safe, just run that 150 range, just plop him in my lineup. Second, I love to have in my back pocket, but Christian Kirk, I mean, I would pay Roman Wilson in a second for Christian Kirk, and that's pretty.
No
I'd say that's pretty easy. And then I'd want Jalen Warren over Drew Lock. So I don't think the math really works out on this one for Scorp Manny. Again, Girth Brooks, aka No Guts, No Sausage, A+ name, A+ trades. You've done it again. Good work. We got CD Lamb in the photo. And we got the Dallas fan in the house. So Gene, this first one's coming to you. All right, so we got a 12 team. You got to start 2 quarterbacks plus an extra super flex. So you can start up to 3 quarterbacks every week. And you got, I don't know what PTPR means, point per touch and per reception. I have no clue what that is.
I don't know.
I'm going to say PPR.
Okay.
BPR. We got the falling Rashee Rice. We got the aforementioned DJ Moore, second in 2025, and the 205 this year being moved for CD Lamb. We don't know how many starters. Let's call it a 12-team start 11. Okay, so in a 12-team start 11, do you want the package of Rice, Moore, and 2 seconds, or CD Lamb?
12 teams, start 11, 3 players are already quarterbacks, so it's really, you got 8 spots.
Yeah.
I'm not counting the seconds. No, those are kind of just throw-ins. Rice and Moore or Lamb. I'm thinking I'm gonna stay with Lamb here, in my opinion. Lamb is in the same situation he was in last year. So he's probably going to see 150, 160 targets. Mm-hmm. We've already talked about DJ Moore. He's going to be in competition of targets with 3 other players, if you want to call add in commit. Rice, we don't know how many games he's going to play this season. He could miss 4, he could miss 6, he could miss 8. We don't know.
He could miss none and then miss a chunk next year. We
truly
don't know.
Yeah, if I'm going in thinking that he's missing games, give me the Lamb side for sure. If he's not missing games, I think it's a little closer, but I think I still lean Lamb here. The seconds don't really move me that much. So in a lineup, those seconds probably not seeing the lineup anyway. So I think I'm going to go Lamb here.
Yeah. I would really love to know the amount of starters in this league for sure, because you can start 3 quarterbacks. So that does like a 12 by 11. That's like a less starter. So if you're in a 12 by 9, 12 by 10, in that case, it's CD Lamb pretty easy for me. As you get up there, then you have to really start to consider the package more. Rashee Rice, falling knife, unfortunately, but he's been a bit of a knucklehead, a bit of a cheese ball. But he had that one charge drop by the photographer. We're kind of past the shock and awe of the news. His ADP probably still falling, but can't you see that we're probably at that point now? There's some positive news. We're going to get closer to season. There's some, training camp stuff, he's catching balls. I can see that ADP probably starting to come up a little bit more again. Does he get back to a first value? Probably once he's playing football again, and he's on the field and probably the wide receiver one in that Kansas City offense. So I'm here on, I do have to take a dynasty perspective on it, but right now I don't think you have to pay a first for Rice whatsoever. So DJ Moore, we've talked about him. Would you say that a mid first and a second is probably a fair price for DJ Moore?
Probably, yeah. First, I wonder if people would take a late first and a mid second. I wonder if that. Well, you already said a mid first and maybe a mid second or a late second. That should get it done for sure.
Should get it done, right? You can figure out the fodder from there. So I'm just trying to put some numbers here. So if DJ Moore is a first and a second, let's say that Rice, we're playing the long-term game, we're just projecting him as a first again at some point. 2 firsts and 3 seconds. I don't unless it's a very convicted bet on a first, I don't think I'm making that move to send away CeeDee Lamb. Like I said, if this is like a start 13, start 14, my tune changes. Right, the seconds matter a lot more. I can still send those seconds in season to fill gaps as they come up. I get 2 threshold wide receivers, threshold receivers plus really, because they all have those. They have that wide receiver 2 upside, right? Wide receiver 1 weeks 2, right? So I'm leaning Lamb here as I talk through it. The names are nice, and I can see a counter. I can see how you get there, but without any further additional context, just give me CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. What if it was a start 11 best ball? Would you change, or would you still take the Lamb side?
Best ball changes the story, right? I don't need the top of the top at wide receiver. You get 2 starters, one who might or may not be on the field for all of the year. You get 2 seconds. And again, those seconds are a lot different in best ball, right? That 2-5 could be that Blake Corum, Trey Benson, who could be a running back that pops down the stretch, or a threshold wide receiver already in the second. You can do something with that. So best ball changes that because it's about construction. It's about how many starters can I fit on this roster. So that changes it a bit, but CeeDee Lamb pulls that weight no matter the format. So excellent. We got the other deal here. Garrett Wilson or 104. A lot simpler, a lot cleaner. Not a lot of bouncing back and forth. G-Dub. The Trinity likes him. We got Rodgers is back with. Let me tell you, I fractured my ankle. I've been in a boot for 3 weeks. The calf atrophy is crazy already. My leg's half the size of my other one already. It's wild. I can't imagine what Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins is going through. If Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson could be that next wide receiver 1 to pop, right? Are you paying 104 for that chance, Gene?
I would need more than that for Garrett Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson had 160, 170 targets last year with the garbage, the trash cans of quarterbacks that he went through. So
trash cans. When
you get somebody more stable, and if Aaron Rodgers comes back at least 90% of what we think he should be, then I think those, especially those missed opportunities should be more efficient, should be catches converted into touchdowns possibly. And yeah, I don't think 104 is enough. I mean, 104 could be Neighbors. Do you want Neighbors over Wilson? No. So do you want, who else would be there? No, possibly Daniels over Wilson.
Any other quarterbacks are probably there, right? Yeah. When it gets a quarterback, it starts to become a construction question. I think Neighbors probably falls in a similar range as Wilson, but Wilson's primed to go, right? Neighbors still has to navigate that whole, Daniel Jones or Drew Lock of it all, right? So he's good. Garrett Wilson was rookie season, more or less. Yeah. Right. So he's going to be great, but I'm betting on G-Dub for this year for sure. So yeah, I agree. I'd want some more for G-Dub. I don't know how realistic it is to get more than the 104, and Gene, if you're in a league where it is hard to make a move and you get the 104 in the inbox, you get that, hey, that has offered you a trade, and you get that 104. If you haven't even trying to move Garrett Wilson, you feel good about trying to move off of them. Is there a world where you would accept that, or it's just I'm just going to bet on my guys here and move on?
I mean, my wide receiver room, he would have to be my third wide receiver, honestly. And or my quarterback situation would have to be like dire. And I would have to pray and hope that Daniels is there. That would be the only one that I would even consider. But again, I can't really see myself any scenario where I would trade this away. Like you could be, I mean, you could be a team that's like not going to be contending this year, and this won't be enough. And especially if you are a contender, you're not doing this. So I don't really see a world where somebody would do this 1-for-1.
Yeah, you got a CeeDee Lamb, a Puka, and a Tyreek Hill team, right? Garrett Wilson's your 4.
Yeah.
You might especially if you want to make that pivot to quarterback. Like I could see that, but yeah, I'm just gonna stick with G-Dub here until proven otherwise.
Yep.
Cool. Dio has a 12-team Superflex start 12, a 12 by 12 PPR, 0.75 tight end premium, 1.75 total, and a 6-point passing touchdown. We got Caleb Williams and Matt Stafford being acquired for Will Levis, a 2025 first, 2024 109, and a 206. So we don't know what's there at 1-9. Let's say X-Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't think in a 12 by 12 with a 0.75 that Bowers or Rome get there, right? So do you want one of those wide receivers or even a Jonathan Brooks, a 25 first? We don't know what the first is, and a 2-6. I'll tell you what. I like to come at it with a little bit of a underdog brain. Matt Stafford and Will Levis. For 2024, I want Stafford over Levis.
No question.
And no matter the quarterback there, I'm not putting much value on like 2025 onward, right? Because if Stafford's playing football, I'm still probably going to make the bet on him over Will Levis, even if Levis has like a decent year. And Will Levis, it's not out of the question for the Titans to draft a quarterback at all if things don't go their way or things don't go perfectly, right? It's a new system. Who knows how that's really going to play out? So I would honestly just feel comfortable crossing out Stafford and Levis. One side's maybe competing, one side's not. I'm not giving up Caleb Williams for 1-9, a first and a second, like a mid-second there. Like 2 of those picks, I have to put names of those players right now. Like I'm not doing that. So do you see that any differently?
No, I don't, man. Just that's a random 25 first. We know it's going to be running back heavy from what we're hearing right now. Nobody's really sold on any of the quarterbacks. I mean, I know it's early, but I mean, I got a potential hammer, and Caleb Williams is in a great offensive situation. Yeah, I don't think these 2 first and the second is enough for me. And again, with Stafford, if he stays until after the 25 season, you're locked in for a guaranteed starter that's going to throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns in offense that you love their weapons. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, good job, Dio. This is a great deal.
Yeah, like Dio got like the future value and the probable production out of Caleb, plus like the win now bet in Matt Stafford, to fill some of those gaps. So I like that. And looking at from the other side, so it would be pretty opposite. They would value Levis, I guess, significantly over Matt Stafford, right? They've held on to Stafford for 3 years. They have a chance to move him, and they're like, I need out now before this year because I think this is going to be the year. And you think that Levis has a good chance because he's in the building. He'll have the outside shot at starting quarterback in 2025 as well. You get a first, or maybe you're projecting that team's not that great. It could be a top 6 pick. You get 1-9. You just love what's there. I need that Jonathan Brooks. I need that X-Worthy. I need that BTJ. Maybe a Rome or a Bowers falls, and you're just all over it. Cool. All right, and you got a 2-6. Again, you can get some nice names in the middle of the second. Kind of go wherever way your team needs in the middle of the second this year too, so you can be flexible with it. I just don't think that really trumps the insulated value that Caleb has at a position that matters. I just feel like you can get a 2 first and a second for Caleb most times, right? And then you can swap the quarterback names that you want. So looking at it, I think it's Stafford and Caleb, fairly easy for me here.
Yeah. What if the 109 was like a 105 and a 25 first?
Yeah, so you're doing the tier down. Let's say Drake May and a first for Caleb, or JJ and a first for Caleb.
Yeah. It's not enough still.
I'm thinking there like you
still.
got that Matt Stafford too, so you don't even need those starts right now. You're just punching in Stafford. You're moving on. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I'm betting on a quarterback this year, I might as well bet on Caleb or Daniels. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can give me 104, 103, I'd really consider. But then like this deal looks completely different if that's the case. So I think it's Caleb, and it's pretty firmly Caleb there.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. You got a great side. The patrons are winning this week. We got a
Yeah,
lot of.
man. I like these deals. I like the premiums are really, turned up. I mean, how often do you see 2.75 tight end premium, 2.25 premium? So
Right.
yeah, man, I came on a good week.
Oh yeah, no, this is a good one. We're not getting the swap of thirds for Jahan Dotson. And hey, Easy Matt got another banger here for us. We got a 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR with a 1.5 tight end premium. They're not looking competitive this year, so they're looking to stack assets, compete in 25, and the first look mid. We got Ben Sennett, the DC's in session in the Senate there, and you got two looking mid first in 25 and 26. Sending away Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, Kyle Pitts, and a 2025 third. Gene, people like Ben Sennett, and I am a fan of 2025 and 2026 first. Kyle Pitts is a lot to move too. Where does this one land for you?
Yeah, this is interesting. Start 10, 1.5 tight end premium. So the premium kind of doesn't really move me. You did give up asset in the pits that, I mean, we're going to year 3 and people are still got the beans, locked and ready. So you gave up some insulated value with that for sure. But again, you did get first back, and you're looking to stack assets. Not going to be competitive. I mean, I don't hate it. You get off the Daniel Jones train because we don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, I'm not mad at the deal. So I mean, easy Matt. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I would lean this side since you're not going to be competing. Granted, I would prefer, maybe if you could have got another 25 first. I'm assuming that the owner didn't have one, but you got some liquid assets for a team that's not going to be competitive. So I like that side.
Yeah. I'm there with you. You would love it to be 225 first, but if you're really betting against a certain manager or a certain team, getting the 25 and then the 26 as well, giving yourself 2 years of runway for those picks to really gain leverage and maybe actually cook into something real nice. Like if I'm gonna take on 26, that's how I want to approach it. Right? I want to just take the future of an owner and say I'm betting against you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, I mean, Daniel Jones, like, he got a first for Daniel. I don't think in the open market you can get a first for him. I
I want to
don't
say
know
Daniel
what.
Jones and a third. Does that get you a 26 first?
Man, nah, man. I don't think so. So I mean, he did good, man. Like,
Yeah.
really kind of looking at it, like, you're really betting that this team is not going to be, I'm assuming this team thinks that they can contend. You're hoping and praying that Daniel Jones is good. So yeah, I'm liking this deal a little bit more and more now that I'm kind of looking at it.
You need Kyle Pitts to be bold, italicized Kyle Pitts, right?
Yeah.
Rookie season plus Kyle Pitts with a good quarterback. Like, you need that outcome, and that's what you're betting on here, because all the risk is on that Pitts side, in my opinion. You're getting Ben Sennett, who people love. D-Bro, shouts out to D-Bro. He loves him some Ben Sennett. He has me single-handedly taking Ben Sennett higher in drafts just because I know I like him. I think it's a good fit in Washington. There's a lot of opportunity there. I'm growing with Jaden Daniels too. So I like Ben Sennett. Looking at the format, it's a 12 by 10, right? So it is pretty shallow. I do want hammers, and Kyle Pitts is the best player in the deal. But it's a 1.5 premium. So again, I want feast or famine. I want the top of the ladder, or I want to play it with a little more volume. Kyle Pitts could be, I think he has every chance to be the tight end one. I don't think there's really an argument that the offense is consolidated. He plays in the slot. Keep your eyes peeled for Ray G. He's talking. You can see the sprinkles on X already, right? We're talking about where tight ends are being deployed and how that matters. I think in this case, I'm just going to take the cash out. Give me Ben Sennett. Give me the 2 first to bet against you, plugging in that Daniel Jones in your lineup, right? And let me just get the package there. I'm kicking it to next year. I'm going to stack up some assets, and I'm going to be good to go. So knowing the context, knowing everything you're saying there, easy, Matt, while, again, I'd love another 25 first. I think if I'm betting against a certain owner, let me bet against him. Let me get that 26 as well. So I like this deal. Cool. Okay, Evan, we missed one last week, Gene. I'm going to blame this one on you. Weren't even here, but I'm blaming it on you, unfortunately. Gene, we missed it. We got a 12-team start 10 lineup, start 2 tight ends. Oh, look at this tiered PPR team. 2 5 tight end premium, 1 5 wide receiver, and 1 for running back. Marv was the 1-3, 1-7, and 1-11 were May and Ladd. So Marvin Harrison Jr. and 404 or May and Ladd McConkey. So they moved up to Marv, pair him with Neighbors and Addison to create a wide receiver core for the future. They were already set at quarterback with Herbert, Goff, and Caleb, and they had 105 as well. They just had that 105 as well, where they've got that Bowers in the start 2 tight end, 2.5 tight end premium of it all to pair with McBride. I'll tell you what, Ev, now set to let the roster marinate for a year and take running back next year. I don't know if you're marinating for a year, my brother. That's a good takeaway and a good draft to have those picks in. I'm happily sending May and Ladd for the shot at Marv here, especially knowing what you got coming back. Do you see this any differently, Gene?
No, I do not. I think Evan was kind of flexing here, in my opinion.
This is a pay to brag without paying.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me I did good without telling me I did good here, man. Just, big ups. He controlled basically the whole first half of the first round. Finesse the owner with the later half of the first round picks. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. Give me Marv here, I mean, with how his roster is laid out.
Yep. And we see these deals where multiple firsts are being moved to a single team. That's that kind of advantage it can give you. And the deals to get drafts like that, you got to make those deals now to prioritize those 25 picks, right? So that's why we're saying if you make those deals, if you can get multiple shots and really corner a market in a draft, it's a good bet. And yeah, good work, Evan. A good team, good outcome there. You can let it marinate. That's probably one of those teams you can just kind of let it fly. You're a dark horse contender if you don't even set your lineup, right? Like just
exactly.
Best of, it'll probably do all right. So
set it and forget it, man. Just like when you buy a stock, you just don't go back and look at it, man. Just let it do what it does.
Yeah. Carlo Kiltz is back with a 12-team start 10 Superflex PPR 1.5 total tight end premium. They acquired the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nakua, and Isaiah Sledgehammer Hates the Grass Pacheco. And they sent away Devon Chan, Tajay Spears, JMO, Addison, 1-7 and 1-9. We don't know what those players become. We've talked about those picks already, right? Rome, Bowers, Jonathan Brooks, one of those wide receivers, someone in that range. It's 12 by 10. Hammers matter. I think the 2 best players in the deal are on Carlo's side.
Yep.
And then you're probably looking at a Chan, Addison, 1-7, 1-9. So probably the 4 next best players are on Ricky Dicky Grimes' side. But Pacheco, Spears, JMO, the gap between Amon-Ra and Nakua and just the rest of those assets in that deal in a 12 by 10, I don't think that Ricky Dicky Grimes got enough back. Or this is a deal that I would send where you put some of those beanie names in there, centered around a couple of nice things like an A-Chan, a 1-7, and you attack it with a bit of volume and see if you can really get like the consolidated pieces. Carl, I like this deal for you a lot. You hit Amon-Ra and Puka in a 12 by 10. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this is a great deal, man. And especially if this is lineup, then yeah, he smashed. Yeah. If this is best ball, then I get it on both sides. But if this lineup, there's no question that Amon-Ra I mean, yeah, Amaro St. Brown, Pacheco, Nakua side, wins by far in my opinion. So, great deal,
Yeah.
Carlo.
Yeah. Step down from Achan to Pacheco. But yeah,
Okay.
you just get such a yeah. Okay, fine, you got me. Okay, right. So yeah, that's a good deal, Carlo. I like that. All right, let's find one more to talk about. Oh, God, another Girth Brooks. Girth, you already flexed on us once. Fishaholic. Really quick, Gene. Here's
Oh,
a couple
okay.
quick hitters. Okay, Jamar Chase or 3 2025 first in a 12x9.
And you know how often these days you see, 3-for-1s, like 3 firsts for a particular player. It don't happen no more. Like,
Nope.
COVID's over with. People are just like, nah, we ain't doing it no more.
People got hobbies again. They're
Yeah,
leaving the
exactly.
house. Yeah.
Everybody's minds got back right. Everything regulated.
Yeah.
Damn, 3 firsts, man. Like, ooh.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, Gene. So it's a 12x9, right? So very shallow, very hammer centric. If you have a team that has Hill, Amon-Ra, Puka, Pittman, and Diggs, if I
See ya,
have three
Chase.
firsts, yeah,
See
yeah,
ya.
you're sending Chase
See
away on
ya.
that roster, right? You're just cashing out, saying I'm good at the wide receiver and
Man.
keeping those picks.
Yeah, man. Like, hey, I'll send you a postcard on your way out, homie. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
now the deal's the other way, where the guy with that wide receiver room sent those picks away to get Chase.
Oh, yeah.
So, Gene, again, in that situation, right? Like, is that a situation where if you already have that
man.
big of an advantage, you get, I'd argue that Chase would be your best wide receiver in that room once you acquire him, right?
Yeah.
It could make a Hill, a Puka, a Pittman, a Diggs more flexible. And 3 firsts in a 12x9 feels, again, I need to know more information on those firsts. If they're all mid to late, I'm probably going to want the Chase of it. But this requires context. And I think a team context adds a really interesting wrinkle to it.
It does. Okay, so with the wide receiver room without Chase, why do I need Chase? Why can't I put those first into something else? To get you a high end quarterback.
Right.
I mean the first can go for if you can go get like Hurts or Lamar or something like that. I mean, you might even be overpaying with 3 firsts, honestly. But adding Chase for those 3 firsts if they're late. Yeah, I would need more context. Like, how many wide receivers can I start? Like, what's the lineup situation look like for you to trade away 3 firsts for another hammer wide receiver?
Yeah.
But if I'm the other side, yeah, peace. Like, let me get the 3. But yeah, I would want to really know what the lineup situation looks like here. But both sides, I mean, I don't mind. I don't really mind on both sides. So
Yeah. And like looking at the whole picture here, right? So we'll jump to this one quick. So they got Tyreek Hill and a 25 second, and they sent away T. Higgins and another 2025 first. This deal, I feel pretty strong that I want the Hill on the second side. Just again, I like Higgins, but I think Higgins in a first is a bit of a beanie move, to get Hill, and then a second that I can kind of fill some gaps when I need to. So looking at this in totality, they came into this with Amon-Ra, Puka, Pittman, and Diggs. They had 4 firsts sitting in their back pocket, and that Higgins that they couldn't find a way to fit Higgins in that lineup, and they went and got Chase and Hill in a start 9. So they gave up that like package of picks. And again, if you have 4 picks, you can probably choose the ones that you're going to move, right? Or you're cleaning out your closet completely. I don't know what side we're coming from here. Let's say that you're being selective with your first that you're trying to send away. I'm assuming at least 2 of those firsts are going to be late, right? So I think that like in a 12x9, if I am clearly trying to make a push for a win, I'm at least investing in a Chase and a Hill, and I get a second kicked back where they're going to enter my lineup. They're going to make my room an incredible advantage, probably over the rest of the league in a shallow format. I can #tell myself the story that Chase and Hill move my team forward more than those 4 firsts will, but golly, you're taking on all the risks doing that.
You are taking a lot of risks. But I mean, this is a risk I would take. I mean, I'm really high on Hill. I know he's about to be 30, but offense where the targets only go to him and Waddle. And I mean, you saw what he did last year. He was hobbled the second half of the season. He could have got 2,000 if he was healthy. I expect, I mean, it's same environment. So I get the bet. I mean, I'd rather have Hill in second than T. Higgins the first. And then, yeah, just totality, putting it all together. Hey, I get it, man. Like, forget the first. Let me get Hill and Chase and go for it. So, good job.
Yeah, I think that's a good talking point, right? Again, like I'm thinking like top of the top, like that Josh Allen, like in leagues like this, like 4 first is pretty much what you have to come to the table to get a response.
Yeah.
So to get 3 first for Chase, it's a great little cash out, right? If you're trying to take 85% and just move on, take the profit and go, like I like that. Chase isn't exactly an option that I'm trying to just take the cash out for. But
Yeah.
I can also see this. Hey, I just took over an orphan. Chase is the only asset I have. I have to split this baby. Yeah, give me 3 first next year. Yeah, we're good, right? So this is a good deal, and the whole totality of it, Fishaholic. I think you just created a monster with that wide receiver room, and you're gonna bash your teammates over the head or your league mates over the head. You're gonna have Pittman and Diggs just sitting on your bench weekly.
Yeah, I wonder what his quarterbacks look like for him to just get rid of these first. I wonder if his quarterbacks are at least top 12. Maybe he got like a Kyler and a Burrows. I just imagine his quarterback room being decently set up, because I don't see how you move all these first and I don't see a quarterback here. I just see wide receiver. So that's my assumption here.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Like acquiring all those first, they probably punted last year. I could see a Kyler A-Rich room, a Burrow room, like someone who fell off or got injured down the stretch, right? They probably made a move there to maybe they moved like a Josh Allen for a A-Rich and a first. I could see probably a move like that happen. So I like it. I said a quick one, but that's pretty much we took that one away. So Gene, we did it. That was a fun one. A lot of good trades, a lot of good tight end premiums. Remind the people where they can find you online there and what you got cooking over on all off the line and everything you got going on.
Yeah, so you can find me on X or on Twitter at Fantasy Genes. That's GENES. You can also follow our official Twitter handle at Off the Line FF. Obviously, the other half of the show, you can follow him on Twitter at just_Ico9. Really, throughout the summertime, we're doing and continue to do is do live drafts and talk about ADP changes and how to navigate that in terms of as you're progressing through drafting through BBM5 or the Pug or any other drafts that you're doing right now. So we're just going to be hammering those out throughout the summertime. And you can follow me as me or him complaining about what the Cowboys are doing or anything else that's going on in sports. So that's pretty much it.
Unserious. I love it. I feel like if you tune into Sirius in the Dallas area, you'll probably find Gene or Ike on there at some point. So, great having you on, Gene. I'm glad we're able to link up and do this. And yeah, the people out there, Underdog, get on there. Sign up with code ALLGAS. Claim your special pick and first-time deposit bonus up to $250. If you want your trades on this show, patreon.com/allgas. Check out all the cool tools, articles, everything we got going on over at destinationdebbie.com. Gene, we did the damn thing. The people got good trades in. I hope you just take something away from this, right? Those first, you can either move them, you can hoard them, you can move them for hammers. Picks are moving right now, and you got to make your bets. You got to set your table. So make those moves. Take care. We out of this thing. Peace.